Hello and welcome to Kirsten's Cove. So, last week I kind of mentioned this like in a little bubble that my content is just going to change a little bit due to the writers and actors strike. While I'm not a paid influencer or creator or part of any of those unions, they have asked that you don't talk about anything that has been struck organically, even if you aren't paid, even if you are just a fan. So, I'm not going to. I stand with them. I hope to one day be a part of those unions. They deserve everything that they are asking for. So my content is just going to look a little bit different. Even though I normally go between like TV and bookish, I'll just stay with bookish. And today's going to be Taylor Swift because I got to go to the Eras tour this weekend. And just kind of wanted to share my experience as a deaf, hard of hearing person who went. Just kind of like I shared my experience going to the I Was Feeling Epic event as a deaf person. So I didn't get tickets the normal way for this tour. I the second the tickets like went on sale or like got announced, I immediately messaged Lumenfield saying like, hey, like I need an interpreter. I don't know how you guys want to do this for the Eras tour. Like this is so crazy. Please let me know. And they said, well, we just like need to get like a full kind of view of how many deaf people want to go. But like just try to get a ticket as normal. So awesome, sweet. I got a pre-sale code. That day I like messaged them or emailed them and said, hey, there's like a point of contact that I had at Lumenfield. I was like, hey, like this is what kind of ticket should I be getting? Is there like a specific ADA tickets that I should be getting? Like what, or can I just get them through you? Like I really don't know what you want me to do here because I've never gotten an interpreter for a concert like this before, like for a concert at all, actually. And so I had no idea what I was doing. He emailed back like during the day saying, yeah, you could just get a ticket through me. And I said, perfect. I shut my laptop. I was not dealing with this Ticketmaster stuff. Like, if you know, like by the time I got to the West Coast, it was disaster. Um, and so eventually, like, it took like a couple weeks, but like eventually I was able to get my ticket through him. Wasn't even 100% sure that I had tickets until literally like the day before that I actually got to see them because I was supposed to, that's annoying. I was supposed to pick them up at will call, and so like didn't have an email confirmation. I did get a couple emails from Lumenfield about like their ID policy, about their clear bag policy, like all of that. So I was like, okay, so my email's on there somewhere. Um, but so like week before, I email them again saying, hey, this will call, like you said, will call opens at 10. Do I need to be there at 10 or like can I go to will call later in the day? Because like getting ready is going to take a couple hours. I was staying in Tacoma, so like that's about an hour away or hour with traffic. I really don't want to wake up at like 5 a.m. for a day that's going to end at like midnight. Not really what I want to do. But it's for Taylor. I was willing to do it. Get an email back saying, oh, we're actually not doing will call. We're going to do digital tickets. You'll hear from me today, tomorrow, or like tomorrow at the latest on how to get those. Okay, that day goes by, nothing. The next day, tomorrow goes by, nothing. Friday morning, my concert's on Saturday. Friday morning, I get the message on like how to get the tickets. I see that I have tickets. Awesome, great, that's solved. He had also said we were supposed to have the interpreters. The interpreters were supposed to email us like the week before. That doesn't happen, and so that was part of the reason why I was worried I didn't have tickets because I'd never heard from them. So we get there. I mean, it's similar to everything else of like it was just kind of mess trying to get in. It was a little overwhelming, but got in, everything was fine. So walked down and I was expecting like a little like riser for the interpreters because I'd seen that at some a different venue when there was videos of new interpreters. So I don't see that and I'm terrified. It's like, oh gosh, I don't actually have interpreters. I was in section 108, so like decently close to the stage. So that's like the first like row B. So like second row back, like in the first part of the bowl, decently close, like good view. And then I see like two people in black with like a little stand, like a little like platform down below. I was like, oh dear Lord, that's the interpreters. So I meet them, talk with them. They're great, both fans of Taylor Swift. One of them even went to opening night in Phoenix. Like, it was amazing. I think Phoenix, Glendale, whatever, in Arizona. The first night was. So she went in Arizona. which was so much fun. She was a huge fan. That was so fun to like have a huge fan be an interpreter, because like you could tell in her interpreting. And we were talking and we are like, hey, did you get the surprise songs? We were like, no, we didn't. We even were like, oh my gosh, please give it to us. Like, we will sign an NDA, but please give us the surprise songs. And Taylor's team wouldn't. Taylor's team, if you ever see this, give them the surprise songs. They need to be able to prep. Taylor's repertoire, like, so big. To be able to pull that out. Luckily, like, both of them knew Taylor. One of them had interpreted for Taylor 4 times now. Like, but that's still a lot of songs to not know which one it's going to be. And then, because it's Saturday night, Haim Sisters' first show, No Body, No Crime plays in place of 'Tis the Damn Season. They had no idea that that was going to happen. And that just like the look of panic on their faces, because it took until about midway through the song that they were able to start interpreting it, because of just kind of like the shock. They like didn't know that it was going to happen, was expecting 'Tis the Damn Season. They were asking us to see if we could feed it to them at all, like if we knew anything. There's some CODAs, so children of deaf adults with us, like asking them to like help. And then eventually like had to like switch, and because they finally got the lyrics up and were able to like see, it was a bit of a mess. And it's not okay that Taylor's team did not let them know that switch was going to happen. They're obviously very talented. They would not be interpreting this show if they weren't that talented and able to do that, but like that's a lot. Like you should be giving them as much prop materials, and for an artist like Taylor, who has such a huge catalog of songs, should be given to them. I cannot imagine being an interpreter at the beginning part of this tour when it was her whole catalog of songs that could be played. Because I've heard that this like had happened earlier in the tour. I'd heard that this has happened, and I was really hoping that it had gotten fixed and that like that this wasn't an issue anymore. It was an issue, so that was a joy. But then, and like the placement of them wasn't the greatest. I think I saw interpreters for about 1/5 of the time. Like it needed to be a stand, and like I want to preface this saying none of this is the interpreter's fault or the ticket person's fault that like I went. They were wonderful. The stadium should have had them raised. I don't know if it was the stadium or Taylor's team or like who made that decision of where the interpreter should be, but like they definitely should have been raised higher so that way it was easier to see. Maybe if I was taller, I would have been able to see them, because Jeffrey, my partner, was able to see them, and he was sitting next to me, but yeah, no. Other than that, it was a absolute wonderful experience. It even just because like I know Taylor Swift songs so well, I grew up on her, like on her music, I was able to enjoy everything. It's visually a wonderful show. It was still such an incredible night, so epic. I absolutely loved it. I wish I could go again. It was wonderful. I will have glitter everywhere for the next like 3 years. But it was so worth it and wonderful. But yeah, so I think next week, so that's kind of my experience as someone who's deaf, hard of hearing, going to a show. I wish it was all positive, but overall, like, had such a wonderful experience that, like, it was worth it. Everything was worth it. Just things to learn from and grow from. I think next week, since there will be no TV content for the time being, maybe we'll do, like, Taylor Swift songs as books, or books that I think of when I hear Taylor Swift songs, or something like that. I don't know. Tune in next week and find out what it is. Find out what I end up doing. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next Tuesday. All right. Bye, guys.